All right, so like halfway through the intro, like literally, I had posted one of a few different blasts out to different social medias. I hear on Discord, and I'm going, "What?
Oh no!
Did something break? Do I have to wait? What's happening?"
All the death.
Unrelated, but I was in the Shoppers today, and I had to cough. And I felt like just the worst person in the world having to cough in a public place.
Well, it's because you were. I can't believe you.
Yeah.
Like, fully masked and everything. But, like, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, it's something that's going to happen. It's a cough.
Yeah.
It's not something you choose to do unless you're actively trying to get phlegm out of your throat. So it's like, it's going to happen. It's just where, when, in what direction, around whom, what end of the aisle are you in, what side. Do you point towards the products or towards the open aisle or away from people? What's the priority? And you don't have time to weigh your options.
Yeah, no. I was in a grocery store and I basically kept just doing the until I could get out of the grocery store and like do a proper cough. Like where there wasn't people around me.
I think Chelsea for sure knows the noise I make when I want to cough and I don't want to. Or I don't think a cough will be sufficient. I'm sure you all have heard it too. It's, I think, the worst part about me.
Is it that nasty throat thing you do?
Yeah.
Can I get a dramatization? Just to jog my...
I've yelled at Gabe about this noise.
Yeah, so it's a little... So, you know, if I have a bit of something in the back of my throat, I'll go...
That's a horror.
I've yelled at him. Like, and it's like, that's a dramatization. It's even grosser when he actually, like, he does it on purpose, like, it's because he needs to.
Yeah.
And, like, I think at one point I was like, you have to stop doing that. Never do that again. And I think he, like, forever avoided, like, my presence, being in the same room with me if he ever had to do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about, do you ever get just, like, big globs of phlegm built up in your lungs? Like,
on occasion.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sometimes
like, in your throat?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I can just, like, force it up with my throat muscles.
Not me.
Damn, you got some strong throat muscles, girl.
You're more thruscular than us.
I guess so. I've never felt like I needed to make those noises.
Oh, I've never made those noises either, but...
Well, it's like little hardened lumps, you know, surrounded by mucus. It's weird.
That's gross.
Ooh, do you have tonsil stones?
Maybe they're tonsil stones.
We should leave that there.
You don't want me to...
I'm going to, as an executive order, end the conversation with the word concretions. Is that good enough? Is that good?
I don't like that word.
I think that...
See, there we go. We're good. We're good.
That word has a sufficient enough gross factor to it that it's just like, yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
I was taught by my French-Canadian mother, and apparently this is a French-Canadian thing, and as far as... It's one of those things... You wouldn't think so. It's not a stereotype that comes to mind, but I've yet to be proven wrong. It's loud sneezing. Deliberately loud, performatively loud sneezing. Because it works. It gets shit going. Are you going to sneeze 6 times? Like a little bitch? Or are you going to sneeze once? Like a dragon? Are you going to do it? Or are you going to be like, let's sue, and it's not going to work?
But again, I have those cute little... sneezes, and I just need 1 or 2.
Maybe your lungs are just good. Like maybe
your whole
system is great.
Have you thought about committing to the sneezing process?
Yeah, like it's not really fair comparison. Gabe and I are asthmatic. We can't do that.
Yeah.
That's true.
See, the thing is, I have very mild allergies every allergy season, so I literally just go through a consistent sine wave of having a little bit of gunk in me, so I feel like maybe all of us have a different bias in the conversation.
I have no allergies and no asthma.
Well, Lottie fucking da.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to everything. Because why wouldn't I be?
So we're the Gunk Bros. You're on your own.
Yeah. You guys are the Gunk Bros.
God, that sounds like a villain. Like that sounds like a villain group from like a '90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, who are the Ninja Turtles fighting this week? It's the Gunk Bros.
Throw it at me. I'll leave gunk in your bathroom sink and then let it harden into a crust.
Actually, now that you mention it, the Chroma Core was meant to be a thing where, like, occasionally I throw themed villains at you. So, like, I am overdue to throw, a themed villain at you.
The Gunk Bros?
I want the Gunk Bros.
Oh, no.
Gunk Bros.
Not the Gunk Bros.
Gunk Bros. Having sex with the Gunk Hose.
Well, instead of Gunk Bros, we have the Imperial capital of Eastlanding, often mentioned in our 75 episodes, 2 campaigns, but never visited. From the port in the Dragon Isles, one day's sail brings you north through the uninhabited reaches. The ships that you follow go northward still. They hug the coast where the port towns gate off the inland monks keep. The land's wind-scarred peaks are carved away by the rain's roads, the rubble enriching a mistborn jungle. One last northward spear reaches the last crest before the famed city, out in the wide open plains and fields. A jewel in the lowlands adorned from 4 kingdoms' riches. Balconies and sunrooms of reed and paper give way to terraces overlooking the canals and streets. Where outgrown fortifications cut through the city walls, they have been burrowed through into shops and apartments. Frescoed concert halls, palatial dwellings, and government offices encircle the city's peak. The Imperial Palace itself, domed and columned, flaked in the Empire's metals. The eyes of the controller of Estron peer from its central tower, sneering. Welcome to Bloodwine. All right, so teaching moment. I think that all of this was maybe a bit much. I feel like that was a bit much. Yeah. I choked like 3 different times through that one. That might have been overcommitting, you know? A little too florid, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word means.
I do like how
it means bullshit.
In our intro for my particular section, like the moment where it stops on my face. Mm-hmm. There is a puppy bum in the background.
I did not notice that.
So little Easter egg.
Next time you watch it.
Yeah.
It's tough because it's like you always want the dog to be like stream icon, but I feel like Maya just at this time of night Maya's like tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if she's like causing a fuss, she needs active attention, and it's like take the headphones off, deal with an active situation kind of shit.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah. She is
maybe in a while.
She is sometimes an active situation. But sometimes, like especially here, sometimes she'll hop up on the bed and you can see her sleeping.
Yeah.
Right now she's sleeping in her bed, but.
A little bit before stream, she was like perfectly framed at the foot of the bed, like between your head and shoulder.
Yeah,
like, posing for the camera.
Right here, yeah.
In the spot.
Good pup.
The best pup.
Yeah.
Best pup.
Okay, I didn't know that we had never actually visited Eastlanding.
No, unless I'm wrong. Have you been here?
I don't remember us ever going to Eastlanding.
I
think it's been offered to us multiple times, but we never actually did.
Yeah. It's been a suggestion. You could go to Eastlanding, and we're like,
A landing in the east, you say?
like the DM that says that his campaign is super open world, but really wants you to do a really cool quest in one area.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go there? Oh, no. You don't want to go west. You want to go east to Eastlanding because west is blocked off by like a landslide and shit.
And they're like, good things I have crampons. Like, let's go.
And everyone's just like, a landslide, you say? There might be people in need of rescue.
Don't worry, guys. You have a guide through the wilderness, and if you ever disobey the guide, you'll be attacked by creatures, so you just have to listen. It's not hard. It's great.
Oh my god.
I was in at least one campaign that had like an obsequiously difficult like DMPC gonna help you guys through the adventure type of character. And like it is so frustrating to have someone be basically like, all right, you're going to a place and it's like, oh, what direction is it? What's it like? What's the terrain like? How far is it to get there? And it's like, you have a guide who will bring you there. Okay. So how? And it's like, so you travel for several weeks, and you're like, what direction? And they're like, by boat. And you're like,
that's not a direction.
By boat is my favorite direction, actually.
Yeah.
We're almost doing a whole campaign about it. It's a whole thing.
We're big fans of directions by boat.
If I can say, like, this is... I made a rule that I'm not letting the campaigns get past 50. At that point, they get way too self-referential, and it's just like you have to cut them eventually. It's good to have an endpoint. I am surprised that I even got to 25 with boat as a premise.
Boat!
Honestly,
like the most
ever.
I thought we would have lost the boat.
Yeah, the most inland you've been is Old Fort. Like, you guys are boating it up. Big boat energy.
Yeah.
Big boat energy.
Oh, hell
Stay
yeah.
on the coast.
Your big boat energy brings you a little bit outside of Eastlanding, close to like the evening hour. Actively right now it's about dinner time, so you guys have slowed up, but Eastlanding is a big enough city that like there are still people and dock workers ready to take you in if you're like coming to port. You've stopped a good ways away around like not the first kind of like bay peak, but the next one, and you've slowed up a little bit, prepping your approach. You guys are here with someone that you've definitely just met now for the first time, who's a rooker called Corvo. And you guys are on a mission of sorts. When you guys left, you were given a bunch of like sandbags on one pallet, and then like a bunch of empty rookery crates on another that have been hauled out, so there's one big central crate. You guys have a system, like a set of like hierarchical goals. The rooker has taken some time to like pen them out on open space on the side of your boat after getting permission, not from any of you guys, but from Rooker. He walks right past all of you and talks to Rooker directly. So like next to like the boats and a little bit close to like where the or not the boats, next to the bunks and where like the desk has been put in underneath Jane's bunk, like there's a bunch of stuff pinned up that's giving you guys kind of a plan. Currently, you have one goal that is mandatory, one goal that is mandatory with optional success, so you have to try it, but you don't have to finish it. Like, it's just do it, but extract yourself if you have to. The last one is fully optional.
Cool.
As it stands, you guys are in training. You're not, like, being interviewed or being given a job offer. Like, you're being trained for a job, so, like, you're not fully being put, like, okay, here's a test scenario. Like, Corvo's trying to get your opinion and trying to inform you along the way.
Okay.
Cool. So, what regalia have you guys been sailing under since you left the port? Are you as the Bilgewater, or are you as a rookery ship?
Rookery ship, because we're in training.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I think we got to put our best face on, you know?
It's like when you're taking like car training and they have just like the in training on the top of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
At the Crow's Nest,
Right.
we just have a massive in training sign.
Yeah.
So you guys strike an odd silhouette. Currently, there's 8 people on this boat, all of which are wearing like rookery robes and masks. There's an uncomfortable-looking rat folk with like a really obvious like sword bulge underneath the robes. underneath decks in the middle of preparing something, there's like a 4-armed rooker with the mask and everything trying to like chop apart a bunch of steak. In the middle of the like munitions room, there's a couple of people in bird beaks who keep bumping into each other, handing each other like wrenches and parts. Above deck, Tiana and Jane, you're like half a foot apart or so. Jane's a bit taller, and both of you guys kind of just sit there like thumbs. Corvo clambers up nearby. He's got one big metal claw in one hand, kind of a squat-looking dude. Looks over at you guys. Croquill, where are you?
Croquill is putting away her mask because she wore it for a little while, but then when she turned her head, she would smack into something. Like, she can't gauge the depth perception of this fucking beak, and so she's decidedly refusing to wear it or any of the regalia.
Alright, so you're the one person out here in your own sort of stuff, just kind of going, okay, yeah, how's it going, Warbles? Yeah. Fluffs around. It is currently dinner time. You guys are a little way away from Eastlanding. What is the name you've decided on for your ship for now?
Is this like a fake false name or
I feel like an apt name to still go with the Bilgewater theme is a SS Screwed the Pooch.
Oh no.
The first thing that Jane is going to say is the flower water.
You know what? That's pretty good. It's like a vase.
Yeah.
The flower water.
The flower water.
You hear like a shuddering below decks. The cannons kind of clank against the side, and then they retract. The ports close. You hear by the side of the boat on either side, the plate shifts out, and it settles on pound flour.
Okay.
Cool.
You watch as kind of like confusedly, there's no lever to do it like the system is actually built to do. Somehow the lever went missing or something, but when the name changes, the Bilgewater itself kind of swaps out the sails for the Rookery Regalia.
Solid.
Yeah.
This ship is like alive.
It's
like
startlingly. Croquill just goes, nah, it's just all machine crap. It's not living at all.
I don't know.
So,
I don't want to weigh in on that.
So as that happens, like Ken and Yi and Sun, you guys are both in the munitions room. Otto is hanging from the ceiling, kind of looking over your work, going, "You hear that? Machine crap, talking shit. A lot of dirt for a meat bag."
Yeah. Well, it's probably best that we don't get involved. Croquill can be kind of touchy, and I don't want to stir up shit. Not when we're getting our performance evaluated by that that Rooker fella.
Well, just let me know. I mean, it's binary, kill things or don't. And then there's a as he leaves the room and switches back to above decks and kind of peers around and goes, "Hey, Croquill, how's it going?"
Existing. How's it going with you?
Pretty good. I'm a cannon.
Indeed you are.
So what's the plan? Nobody briefed me on the plan. Your automated turret looks at you as if it's supposed to be briefed on the plan.
The plan is, we do our job, and then you shoot things that we tell you to.
Okay. You know what? That's my favorite plan, and I like that it keeps on being the plan. And then there's a... And Otto goes back below decks, back to where, Sun and Kennedy are in the middle of crafting, goes, "So, you let me know if we need to shoot anybody, right?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, don't you worry. You'll be the first to know, I'm sure.
Yeah, because you know me, I'm all QQ, and he cycles the cannons, goes...
Yeah, no, you're one mean killing machine.
There's a quiet knock at the door.
I go to the door and I do that thing that a child might do when their parent comes to the room and they don't really want their parent to enter the room, so they kind of like open the door just enough their body blocks it.
Okay, so you, Mom, kind of use the Xbox, like, wedge yourself into the door. Croquill is a reasonable distance away. Visibly, like, because... Or, not Croquill, I should say Corvo, like... Beak looks up towards the door, looks back at you, looks at the various warnings, goes... Boop, boop, looks at you, and then gestures towards the board, points.
The board... Oh, yeah, I'll leave the thing and come over to look at the big planning board.
Corvo kind of like walks over, gives Rooker kind of like a, and then like clambers up a little ways. You can see Corvo like motion a little bit. You hear like one side of a conversation. Kenan use like, yeah, we'll catch up later. Yeah, I know they don't even give a shit. And Corvo comes back in, followed by Tiana and Bilgi. Everyone's kind of gathered around, and Corvo takes his claw and kind of goes whap against the board. There's a big number 1. There's a sign that says mandatory, and then there's like a scrawl. It's almost like printed, like someone has been doing scribe work so long that their writing looks more like Times New Roman than actual writing. You see the first one says, dummy run with crates sandbagged, in roads.
Okay.
You think it says robes? Yeah, robes.
Yeah, that makes more
squint and
sense.
go, yeah. Corvo looks at you expectantly. There's 3 items on the list.
Sorry, what the first one? Dummy run with sandbags in robes?
Corvo like gives you like a finger with his hand. He walks over and he goes kunk kunk against the like empty boxes that have the like a bit hollowed out. He kind of goes hip, awkwardly kind of waggles over the edge and squats down and squats back up. You can see he can fit in the crates.
Okay.
Is this exercise?
So are we smuggling you? Or are we smuggling people?
Corvo like goes snap, he points at you, and he goes like one.
One bird. All right. One. We smuggle one person. Smuggling you. From where to where?
Corvo just kind of goes like, and like plucks a little bit at the robe, taps the mask.
Anywhere where
Next
from
to
rookery
the
to
rookery?
rookery.
Corvo does like a bingo, points at Croquill and goes, ah! And Warbles goes, brah! And taps a little bit on Croquill's shoulder.
His way to communicate with me is through warbles, which I love.
bird to bird
so-
communication.
We're smuggling Corvo to the rookery in Eastlanding?
Corvo goes and points at Jane.
Okay, well, easy enough, I guess.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're rookers, so I suppose we just load you up in a box and transport you to the rookery in Eastlanding.
Corvo kind of gestures at you, kind of like goes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Points over at the board, takes his claw and goes whap at number 2. Written manned, it's in shorthand, manned attempt, opt success.
All right.
Locate the pony messenger stop before the Emperor's palace.
All right. The pony messenger stop before the king's palace. Okay, yeah. So we have to do it. We have to attempt it. Doesn't matter if we succeed or not necessarily. And
so Corvo like gestures towards you, gives you like big nods, big like big like thumbs, and then does like this motion, and then taps the word emperor, and then goes kunk kunk kunk.
You want us to kidnap the Emperor?
It's like, no, we're going through the line. It's below the Emperor.
Okay, Emperor, King, Vassal.
So Croquill points at Jane Corvo.
There's too many bird people.
Yeah, there's too many bird people in his boat. Corvo kind of gestures at Jane and Croquill, like, yeah, and then kind of wobbles.
Duke?
And then goes up, 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 up.
King?
Up.
Emperor.
Bingo.
Okay.
At this point, Corvo kind of gestures to the group, hesitantly ready to go back to the board.
I don't know what the Pony Express messenger thing is.
Corvo goes to the board, unpins something, and passes you an imperial insignia. It's the official government messaging system that the Empire is setting up.
Oh.
Okay, so we're locating.
We're locating that.
The spot
Alright.
for that's near the Emperor's palace.
And you want us to sneak you there?
Corvo kind of gestures no, and then points at 1,
We're only
and then does a cut, and then points at 2.
Okay.
And then does another cut, and then points at...
Sneak you into the rookery. After we sneak you into the rookery, we go find the thing. Got it.
Corvo nods, and then there's a picture of it's a sketch of what the rookery looks like. You can see it's from it's cut out from a brochure for new people coming to Eastlanding, a tourism thing. He taps that, and then he kind of just does a little squatting motion near one of the tables, and then he points at all you, and then he points at the hatch, and then he points at the rookery again. He waits at you to see if you have any follow-up questions.
Lots. What does the brochure say? What is on the brochure that he's pointing at?
A lot of it's been cut out, but you can see it's a picture of the Eastlanding rookery, the general rookery.
All right.
Okay. Eastlanding rookery.
Corvo goes tap, tap, tap.
You.
We take you back to the Eastlanding rookery?
Well, the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
Corvo kind of gives you a slow nod. And it does a...
All right.
I'm so confused on the last... What is the last thing again? Can we go over it one more time?
All right. Step 1, smuggle him to the rookery. Smuggle Corvo to the rookery.
Got it. Number 1. Number
Step 2,
Pony Express. Number 3...
As you guys are kind of bickering between each other, Corvo sighs, goes over to the table, and then quickly scrawls something down with an ink and a quill, the rookery desk, and then just shows you a piece of paper, and it goes, "I'll be at the Eastlanding rookery. Go there if you need to touch base."
For number 3? That's number 3?
Corvo goes no, and then just takes that, kind of puts it separately, makes a miming of a pinning notion on the table, then walks back to the board, and then taps 3. There you can see optional, and it says infiltrate and send a harmless black dye pack to the Empress.
Through the Pony Express.
Corvo snaps and points at Sutton.
All right.
Okay.
Corvo points at Sutton again and makes a...
You want it to explode when she opens it?
Corvo nods and then points at you and then makes a tap, tap, tap motion.
Yeah, no, I can do that. I mean, if we're going to all that trouble...
Harmless, right?
Harmless.
Oh, I mean, all right. And I mean, I can do that. I just don't quite see the point in it. But
get black dye.
Corvo just kind of taps the rookery bench and slowly nods.
It sends a message.
You know what? You know what else sends a message?
I mean, in a significantly larger caliber of explosion?
Yeah.
Well, that sends a different message than what we want. We want more threatening and less
Right.
outright terrorism.
Well, I'll do it. I'm a professional bass, but I'm not big on threats. You know,
Carvel,
I
get in the box. Let's get going.
prefer action.
Oh wait, we're not at Eastlanding yet, are we?
You're close enough that it would make sense to be like, all right, Corvo, get in the box, and then you guys unfurl the sails.
Okay. All right, get in the box, Corvo. Is he big? He's a dwarf, isn't he?
He's a
Yeah,
dwarf.
Corvo's a dwarf-born, but he's also like short for a dwarf-born. Big waddle energy.
Does anybody have any brawn?
Sun does.
Yeah.
Are we? Because usually how to bring pallets to the rookery, there's usually like a system with like carts and right.
Chelsea, I have the highest maximum. Like I have maximum brawn that you could possibly get.
Yeah.
At this point,
Sun is just ripped.
Sun is just a slab of beef.
I have maximum possible smuggler and weapon.
Right, but I've also maxed out physical to do good crafts.
I
have 6 in physical.
I have maxed out ritual, henge, grove, and then I have maxed out magic, and I have 3 dots in understand, deceive, perform, and elemental.
I have so many points.
I am on death's door if I die.
Oh yeah, me too. I have 5 death roll for sure.
I have 3 death roll, but even
Also,
that.
To be fair, Croco's build is like 6 different drawbacks or something.
Yeah. Croco's build is very much just like, I keep taking drawbacks to like really hamper myself, but like, man, when I'm at peak, I'm at peak.
Somebody stop me.
Okay. Jane's decently healthy in terms of how people go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crocoil
Yeah.
is...
Sounds like you guys are the right group for the job.
Crocoil is blind ×2, grounded, unfocused, potion popper, bleeder, poor mobility, and picky eater.
You've taken every single one?
No. She's not an insomniac.
Oh, she gets her sleep. Don't you worry.
Oh, she gets her sleep.
You're just kind of the boat's resident demon. Like,
Yeah.
you just got your little like inky forked tail. You got like sharp teeth. You're like, hey bird, let's cause mischief.
It's all I can really do. But I don't know. I feel like also as a drawback there should be a god complex, because that's also what Crocoil has developed a little bit of.
God complex.
Man, all those drawbacks and Croquill's still like, man, I'm fucking great.
That's the best fucking part about this build. I love it so much. Nothing has challenged Crocoil enough so far, so Crocoil's just like, I'll just fucking blast it away, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like it's one dreadful day that'll come one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So you guys unfurl the sails. You're in full rookery garb as what was the name of the ship again?
The flower pound.
Flower.
Pound flower.
Pound flower.
I was close.
You make your way into boat. There's a few dock hands who bring you towards a spot closer to the general rookery. There's a number of ships packed nearby. You notice that there's one Imperial gunship that's right next to all these docks.
Please.
Maybe we shouldn't have come in with all the rookery stuff. Think about it now. Oh well.
We ain't pansies.
They don't greet you the way they normally do at the docks. There's only one person here, just an official, kind of lazily walking up, waiting for you to show the port pass.
Show him the port pass.
He barely looks, and waves you through.
Cool.
Show him the port pass, Josh.
All right, let's get this crate onto a wagon or something and
Right.
head towards the rookery.
You're kind of like looking back and forth, waiting a moment. It doesn't look like there's any nearby wagons available for hire.
Son, could you... How far is the rookery? Like, in terms of walking distance?
None of you guys have been to Eastlanding before, have you? Have your characters?
Oh,
No.
All right, so Rooker and Bilgy take the lead. Tiana and Kennedy stay with the ship. All of you, every time you look over to see like who's who, like you have to double take, going, okay, there's squat fighty looking one.
Yeah.
There's crutches and peg legs one. There's
forearms. Are they all in their gear?
Yep.
And I'm still the odd one out?
You would have been urged to put the stuff on.
Fine. Very reluctantly, I put the stuff on.
Once you're off the ship, you stop bumping into things, so you get used to it, but everything's muffled by the hood and the mask a little bit. There's enough people nearby that you can just stay with the group, though.
Okay.
How would you describe yourselves? Like the blank Rooker. What are you... The funky-looking Rooker?
The blind Rooker? The most apparent.
Sun is definitely the awkward-looking Rooker. He's not, like, super comfortable in... Like, he usually wears, like, a Hawaiian shirt with nothing underneath, and you're lucky if he buttons it up.
It's like Starbound, where you have to pick your character's gait. Like, you've chosen one of the weird ones.
Exactly. It's kind of like, I don't like having my shoulders...
Constantly like grabbing at the robe, trying to get it to like flex a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't like having my shoulders connected to my belly. You know.
What?
I feel like Jane's Rooker has like monolith energy. Like you're just a big kind of slab with a bird face on top.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
So you're a bunch of kind of awkward, like weird, different looking kind of bird people, and you kind of pip away from the shore. Rooker and Bilgy, the four-armed Rooker and the rat folk Rooker, respectively, like kind of like scurry off. You go down the street and then down a side street, and there's like a big kind of garage bay thing. Bilgy and Rooker walk up. They kind of gesture. You guys go in through a different door. You have to sign all your names individually. Some of them go ahead. Who's first?
I guess I'll go first.
All right,
Or no, wait. It would be Bilgy or whoever else is with us because they were leading the way.
Yeah, Bilgy goes first, and then Rooker.
Okay.
Tiana and Kennedy are both on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll follow them.
What do you sign?
I think I gave my name as. I gave my name as Jane Doe initially. Maybe I should. Did they write that down? Do I remember if they wrote that down?
Which one of you guys awkwardly shuffles forward?
I'll shuffle forward.
So Jane's kind of like awkwardly sitting there holding the quill. Son, you shuffle forward, grab the quill. What do you sign?
Son.
Dot it. Move forward. Jane or Crowquill?
I will write Doe. D-O-E.
You go Doe. You do a dot.
And then with a large flourish on the sea. And then like generally incoherent because I can't actually see what I'm writing. Crowquill or Ravenfeather. I can do the C because it's just whooah.
Yeah.
Is anyone watching?
Watching Crowquill?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
I mean, I would stick around, but I'm not gonna like.
So you watch Crowquill kind of like feel out the edge of the document where people have written, and then in like flawless like font tier cursive, you see Crowquill, Ravenfeather, and there's a little Ravenfeather, and then Crowquill kind of just puts it down and kind of goes like with a hand like hate writing.
It's not fun. Not fun.
Let's continue.
You guys toddle forward into like the garage doors. One of the rookers in like the warehouse goes and like starts opening up the garage door. One of them has finished up settling up the horses, and they gesture you towards that wagon.
All right.
There's enough space for 2 in the front.
I'll go.
Shotgun.
All right. I'm not one to argue with shotgun.
So, son, you kind of sit there and adjust the strap that keeps your shotgun on you, and you clamber into the back of the wagon. You can see the Rooker and Bilgy follow suit. Bilgy is barely perceptible, and then Rooker makes the entire thing kind of wobble. Jane, you crack the reins and start getting the wagon underway. Bilgy kind of like awkwardly shuffles up and is between you and Crowquill with a finger going like, all right, left. All right, right there. No, straight a little ways. Where were we? Number 6? Oh, there we are. You come back to your ship. There is a crane, but it's like at the front of the dock a little ways. 2 people are going to have to operate the crane while the rest get the crate loaded onto the pallet.
Oh, I'm not fucking operating this one. I operated the last one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can operate a crane.
Running in a hamster wheel again. You have any idea how disorienting that was? Sucked.
Yeah, no, I could see it being a little unpleasant, but I don't remember you whining so much about it.
Well, the job had to be done.
Fair enough, I'll operate the crane.
All right. So you go to operate it. Who's gonna like orient the crane? So, son, you're in the hamster wheel.
I guess I'll orient.
All right, you go up and you like get to the point where you can adjust the mechanisms. From there, on board, you can see Tiana kind of like squat down nice and low with a good stance. Kind of like loop her fingers into the whole entire cover, and then just go, oh, and the whole thing goes, whoomp. She just goes, whoomp, kunk, puts it down elsewhere on another side of the deck, and then starts gesturing for the crane to come in. What is Crowquill doing?
That's the sound of the hamster wheel.
Crowquill is sitting in the cart.
So you're sitting there going like, all right, I got it on easy street, while the rest of the group is like, okay, we can do this, while Crowquill makes sure the horses don't panic. Crowquill, without realizing you're doing it, will you give me a druid roll?
Okay. $24.
All right, so you're just kind of sitting back going like, I don't even need to do anything. Just wait till I feel it hit the wagon, and then wait till them to clamber on, and we're good. And the horses agree. They're just like, yeah, we don't need to move anywhere. You guys watch as like the wagon is perfectly immobile in place and not moving until the crane comes back. Like,
this is fucking easy street, guys. We got this.
Gabe, do you want to give me a brawn roll?
Brawn roll. That's one of the things I'm good at.
And Jane, do you want to give me a delicate roll?
Yes.
Hang on. Math. God. Okay, hang on. Oh boy. Okay. 26.
26, all right.
Ooh, that was a really good roll. 22.
All right. So, different campaign. Son, you start walking forward. You're kind of holding onto a brace in the middle of the hamster wheel as this thing kind of like turns forward and this thing moves. You can see the screw kind of like click into the edge of the hamster wheel as like the crane's properly engaged and the spool starts to go. It lowers and you start to slow up a little bit. There's some gestures. You can see that Kennedy below decks like fastens something, gives it a good tap, and then Tiana starts to gesture back to back towards Jane. From there, you engage like the clutch, and then you swap it around. You start to walk forward again, Sun, and this thing kind of like cranks its way up slowly as you can watch the rope get spooled into the spool there. There's another clunk, the gear moves, and the crane starts to wheel around. You're slow a little bit. You can see the thing kind of from your reference point as the whole assembly moves. It kind of moves back and forth. It stabilizes a bit, and then you slowly lower it down. Croquill, you feel the kind of clunk as it hits. On instinct, you just kind of... And then from there, you can see Bilgy kind of run over, unhitch it, double check, kind of like throw a strap over, hitch it, gives a good slap. It's good to go. Not everyone needs to do this, but you guys are good to go to the rookery.
We're professionals, damn it. We have standards.
Yeah, no, I'll be there.
All right, Jane?
Yeah?
All right, a lot of you come aboard. At this point, Bilgy and Rooker kind of like awkwardly look from side to side. They decide to walk alongside the cart. There's 3 of you, and the pallet takes up the whole wagon. Who's the odd one out, and where are they?
I'll be walking. I'm just walking along the side of the wagon.
I was gonna say, I'll walk if I can, like, keep my hand on the wagon the entire time.
I'll walk.
So Croquill, you very quickly are like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll just touch the edge of it the whole time, and I'll be good. And then they're like, Son, you're like, okay, I'm gonna come.
Come on now.
No, you said.
To give up the seat on the bus mentality. It's good.
You start to make your way up to the rookery. Does everybody want to give me a roll of their choice?
Brawn, I guess.
Smuggler.
I'm rolling brawn to look like I am really helping push the wagon here, you know.
All right.
21.
Got it.
Don't talk to me or I'll drop everything. Oh, that's 28.
I was rolling social understand to sort of like get the flow of what's going on around us, to see what people are thinking about us in case someone's like stopping us or like whispering under their breath.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18.
All right. So we'll start with the smuggling roll. You go through... So Westwatch, which is a city you guys have been to before, is another city that's like, it's got inner and outer walls, but they're very much like largely diversified places. Here, like the walls have been forgotten and dug into, and so you don't notice when you're past the first set of walls. You go on through. Jane notices, however, as everyone else is focusing on the journey, you look back and you can see that right by the edge of the wall, there's a guard that looks over to someone else in Imperial garb who checks something on a clipboard.
Okay. Good to know.
You're going further up the road. There's a bit of a blockage up ahead with a 28?
For me?
For Sun.
So 28 to look really important as I'm kind of huffing and puffing and keeping this wagon from rolling back down the hill.
All right, so you're on the back of the wagon pushing it, and you're like, all right, here we go. And at this point, like the noises you're making on the back, people are kind of like looking. At the head of the wagon, you can see that people are moving out of the way and clearing space as it goes forward.
God, he's got phlegm in his... What is that? Is that phlegm in his throat? Like, God, he's just making ungodly sounds.
Yeah.
Distantly, Croquill, after you guys make a turn and you're like on another long straight stretch of road, you're kind of clattering along, you hear, Rooker, Miss Rooker.
It's like, someone's trying to get our attention.
Yes. I say, trying to sound important.
You look around and you see that there's someone who's kind of slowing you up.
I address them. Hello.
The cart slows up a bit. This person's approaching from behind, so they kind of like... They see people on foot nearby first and foremost. Would this be Sun at the back of the wagon, or would this be Jane?
I'm at the back of the wagon.
So I'd be at the front.
If someone's coming up to me,
would you be like actively going, "Hey, how's it going?" Or would you kind of be like, "Oh,
no, I'm very busy pushing this wagon here. I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe someone who's better at talking can help."
So yeah, you stop, you step a little bit away, you stretch a bit. This person passes by and goes up to Jane. Goes, "I'm sorry, do I have to go to the office? I just have to send a letter. I've already got it ready."
Rookery rules. We're in the room. We take the letter.
I take it. I'll send that off once I get there.
Can I like grab it and inspect it for proper rookery inspection?
All right, so you quickly go. Hold on, let me inspect that. You give it an up and down, and sure enough, it's like a roll of paper, but it doesn't have sealing. You need wax, and you need that person or one of you guys to have a seal to seal it up.
I'm sorry, we need wax and seal for this?
Yeah, we have seals. We have seals.
We have seals, but do we have wax on us? I don't...
Wait, but we do that, right? So we can do that once we get to the rookery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're good, I think. We just need to seal it once we get there. Right?
Yeah, that checks out.
Do the rookery rules specifically state that we have to seal it in front of the person?
Corvo is technically with you, but can't really answer.
Well, we were trained on this, Will. We did an entire session on sealing.
Character moment. Who would have remembered and who would have forgotten and who would have aggressively forgotten?
Sun actually would have remembered, I think. Sun has a pretty good head for these technical sorts of things.
Jane probably would have forgotten.
Croquill is like a 50-50 given the lecture. Like the math one, 100% forgot.
Okay. Sun, would you have included sealing wax in your daily supplies once you got your robes?
No. I got enough to worry about making guns and stuff. I think that Sun would have just said, you know what, someone else will probably deal with that. I'm dealing with guns.
You look from...
But does Sun remember whether or not we need to seal it in front of them, is the question.
Jane, roll smuggling.
All right. I would love to. 17.
So as this is happening, and there's a discussion between like Croquill and Sun. You look, and behind the bench, through like the grabby bit on the edge of one of the crates, there's a really small little nib of sealing wax that's being pushed through the opening.
I take it, and I'm like, yes, we got sealing wax. Okay, grab it.
Oh,
and I'll
that's great.
With my stamp, I'll seal that.
Just
all right. What do you use to heat it? Would you have used something like a match or a lighter, or do you use magic for that?
Croquill, fire.
So Croquill, you're like, and you snap a flame. You kind of like get it to like a nice fine point. From there, Jane, you like nod, and then like the person there like readily like puts their letter in the like kind of glob of wax. You seal it, and the person nods and goes on their way.
All right,
onwards.
Woo!
Man, that was quite the event.
Wait, don't they have to pay for sending a letter? Shit.
No, I don't think so.
I think they do.
Wasn't there a fee? I seem to recall them talking about having a fee for sending the letters. Oh well.
Oh well. This time
in
gets
training.
it for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see at the edge of the group, like Bill G stopped and like got a little bit of cash, passed you a couple of cents. They're not something that's added to your inventory. You kind of just keep them aside in a different pocket to be handed into the rookeries later.
Cool.
This is actually like 2 blocks away. So you start up, and then you have a few more minutes of flat road, and you end up at the Rookery. From there, you drive into the same garage door you came out of, and they start opening up the crates. Corvo kind of like stretches.
Cool.
You guys and goes, kind of shrugs, head to the side a little bit.
On to part
All
2.
right. The next time we get supplies, we'll have to get sealing wax.
Yeah, no, that it's a bit of an oversight. Yeah.
All right.
Will gets out of the wagon, grabs the letter, and then kind of gestures at you guys. Kind of just holds up one finger and then makes a fake scribble on the letter.
I don't know why I'm doing that, but yeah.
Sorry, Corvo. Yeah.
Oh, it was just fun.
There's a warehouse of 12 of you who all kind of awkwardly look at each other as all of you are wearing identical outfits.
Well, one of us is no. I'm not gonna stoop to that level.
This isn't Reggie and Henny.
So, Croquill, you hear an awkward silence and go, "Me?" And then there's a and you're kind of like, all right, get off the wagon. You're walking a little way. You're walking a little way while Crowquill's there, and they're like taking the dummy crates off and like disassembling them and returning them into normal crates again. Crowquill, you go off with Corvo into the other room, into the general rookery. You can feel yourself go past like a curtain. You know you're going into the back because you could hear voices of people muttering and like the scribbling of pens. Corvo stops and goes, "Go."
All right, on to part 2.
Corvo kind of like taps your hand a little bit.
Okay.
Oh man, maybe you weren't the right person for this.
I was not the right person for this.
Corvo like awkwardly takes the outside of your fingers, like using your hands as like a quill of sorts, and in the air writes, "Roll delicate," or would you not have to roll? This is a character decision.
To like sign something? Or like...
Would you know how to communicate with Corvo, or is this something you wouldn't have had to do before?
Me having to communicate with a person who is, for all intents and purposes, mute.
Mm-hmm.
No. That is not something I've ever had to do.
Alright, roll delicate.
Unless in the backstory of Boru's children there was also a mute child. Which, I mean, it's entirely possible. Oh, that's a solid 3.
What was the roll?
3.
You feel something that seems like the name Hackett. It's a weird, like, historical, magical reference. You're not sure what that means.
The witch? Just like...
Corvo taps on your hand 6 times.
You know, maybe it'd be helpful if we get someone else who's able to, like, better interpret what's going on.
Corvo kind of, like, waves someone over, at which point someone comes up, and you guys move to... You get a bit of a tug as you move to a different part of the rookery. Okay. You can hear an interpreter going, "All right, we're in private. Hex codes."
Ah.
Was that the math one?
Yeah, I did not pay attention during hex codes.
Uh-oh.
For what?
there's a bit of a pause, and then you hear, to be honest, I just cheat with the accessibility stuff all the time. I mean, this dude probably knows. And then the dude goes, yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I get it. Honestly, I'm bored. I'll do it. Yeah. Back to Corvo. Anyways, so you just need to assert who you are. Do you remember your part of the code? This is all through, like, the voice of, like, a draconian who speaks pretty good common who's, like, awkwardly standing in the room with you.
If I was given a part of a code, I would have specifically remembered the code, but not the hex or how to decipher it or anything like that. Just specifically what my part is.
If someone was like, C4186, would you remember that?
Yes. I wouldn't remember what it means or anything like that, and if someone gave me a hex code for deciphering it, I wouldn't fucking know. But I would remember the thing that I need to remember for a job.
All right, so you say you're part of the hex code, and the draconian kind of like goes, oh, and then kind of like chuckles and goes, I was just about to say that. Yeah, me and Corvo both, I guess. Most people, that's all they remember anyways. To be fair, there's a directory. And then you hear the sound of like a book opening. All right. And something being slotted into a hole.
Like, I feel like at some point, Sun has gone on a rant about the codes and like their meaning and like all of that, and I just straight tuned it out.
Just yeah, sure, son, whatever. Yeah.
You make your way back towards like near the where the wagon is. Croquill, you feel two kind of taps on your shoulder. Corvo kind of gives a wave to the rest of you and heads off into another part of the rookery.
All right,
let's go find that thingamabob and that thing near the thing.
Right.
And I start to leave.
Oh, well, I guess we're just going for it, ain't we?
Well, we should probably change out of rookery clothes. It'd be a little bit suspicious if, you know...
Well, we should do that at the ship, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Back to the ship, change out of our rookery outfits, and then continue on.
All right. You guys make your way back to the ship along the way you came. By now it's getting like a little bit to the later bit of dinner, but this is like a dense city and there's a bit of like nightlife going on. You guys are close to the docks and the rookery itself is fairly central, so you see a lot of people coming and going. It's still pretty busy around this time of day. Well, this time of night, I should say.
Yeah.
You make your way back to your ship and toddle on. You can hear, oh, hello there, Rooker. Other friend, Rooker. And then distantly you hear Otto going, come on, that's fun. That's not funny. You know my face recognition is going crazy.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't consider that. Hey, Otto. Yeah, let me see if we can
No, don't you fucking and Otto puts up like both the cannons and visibly like arms both of them. Nope, right. You're not allowed to touch me. My creator only is permitted to touch me. No.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
And then, don't you give me shit. Oh, you must be... Okay, I see the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's Croquill. Here, I'll here, and I...
For the record, I can only see warbles. I can't see Croquill. I'm just inferring. I can't tell with the mask. Doing some shit with my computer.
Right.
I'm going to have to remember that. Thanks for that one.
Just take your mask off.
Like hell, you weird little shit. And I take off my mask. Say, see, Otto, it's us. Don't worry.
Okay, that was weird. Don't do that to me again. I don't like that shit.
Good
boy.
Yeah.
Hey, what am I talking about? I don't have emotions. What am I?
No, but you do have a cost function in there that's designed to find like whether a situation is optical or not. It's part of the danger, Sanson.
goes, hey, ain't that optimizing? And then plays like a wave file of the Seinfeld bass for a second.
Oh God.
And then he swivels back down into the munitions room.
All right, I'm quick. I'm basically walking into my room, quickly throwing the stuff onto my bunk, and then walking out. I'm like, let's go. We got stuff to do.
Otto is the equivalent of Kramer opening the door and sliding into the room.
Yeah.
So I'm joining Jane in that.
Yeah, right as you guys are kind of gathering up, Bill G stops you guys and goes, "Hey, what? Ain't you ever gone incognito?"
The hell are you talking about?
Oh,
what is it? Incognito?
Incognito.
Are we going? Okay.
Incognito.
Yeah, that's the one.
Should we go and come back, or should we find a place to quick swap? I don't know.
I'm a professional smuggler. I'm sure I've done this before, right? Can I roll smuggling for this?
Go for it.
Okay.
It's getting a little bit dark. How is the general people walking about in the middle of the night looking?
You can hear that there's a lot of people coming and going. Nobody's really like traipsing up onto the deck, but there's definitely a lot of passersby.
Yeah.
22.
22. They were counting you coming and going. They will definitely notice if you come up here. What you need to do is go out of eyesight and then go an additional step further than that to make sure you're not being followed, and then switch to regalia, switch out of the robes, and then make an approach of the Bilgewater.
Okay.
Or other ship. You now have that option.
Let's do that. Other ship, I guess. Other than Bilgewater. I guess it doesn't matter. They don't know who the Bilgewater is.
All right.
But so yeah, absolutely.
You guys unmoor and make your way out of port. You go around the first kind of like crest. You can see that there's there's an Imperial ship there that's watching for a little bit. You slow up as if you're going to spend the night, like not in docks, but like a little bit away from town to free up the space. The Imperial ship passes, and then you're on your own.
All right. Switch the regalia. Let's go. Back to the Bilgewater.
Yep.
You kind of like say this out into the open. And then there's a shuddering and the clunk, 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 clunk. You can see like the plate on either side switches around and the sails shudder. There's a hiss, and then pop, 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 pop. The cannons come out of the ports again. There's a rumble.
Cool.
Excellent.
Let's make our way back into the city.
You unfurl your sails and make your way back in. From there, you're directed a little ways out. You're actually directed towards a small... It's built almost on a little crag, but it's like a dock with a bunch of little sub-docks. And there's like a bunch of soldiers and messengers coming and going. One of them comes up and goes, "Commercial, ferrying, private, what's your business?"
Jane, you better say something quick before Sun decides to rectify the situation.
Jane is not like a talky person. Jane is terrible.
We're just like, commercial. We're here to pick up supplies.
Oh,
all right. 17. Okay. He points to you. B.
Also, we're selling our sugar here, aren't we?
Yes, we also need to sell our sugar.
You are definitely... This is not even something you have to roll for with Jane's roll. You don't say that to the border people.
Yeah.
You know that sugar that we took from fucking what the fuck was it?
It's literally like showing up with like a boat at like a dock in Miami and being like, "Man, sure was a nice time going out to grab those Cubans, wasn't it?"
Yeah.
So you guys go off towards 17. You can see that there's a group of soldiers and a quartermaster coming up to check your boat.
Port pass.
They look a little bit surprised, but nod and head past, you can see that there's one guard kind of watching you from the edge of the gate. Jane, give me another smuggling roll.
Okay. $25.
25. This guard is actually nothing to really worry about. Basically, this is just to see if you're about to pull some shit right now out of the blue because the port pass is weird, but this guard doesn't care enough to follow you past the gatehouse.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, then we gotta act super normal past the gatehouse.
I'm always acting normal.
You look at the person who's dressed in like shabby robes with a cane and like a fucking cloth over her eyes with a bird on her shoulder that keeps going, "Eh," and just go, yeah, normal, casual.
Yeah,
Hey,
James
real
was
gay.
like, okay, we gotta act super normal for at least a little while.
Croquill
At that
nods and
point-
goes, I totally understand.
So Kennedy kind of looks up and down the docks and goes, yes, very normal people here. And you look at like the adjacent ships. One of them is all brilliant blue, and there's like a big banner that says the Bluebird, and there's a bunch of people in matching outfits all coming down and like rolling barrels up onto the port. There's like one ship that's obviously just had a bunch of different like cannon holes put back in, and you can see a bunch of like ragtag adventurers loading barrels in. You guys blend the fuck in right here.
We should have matching.
Well, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, let's. We gotta start. We can sneak into the city. Let's go find that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who's going and who's staying?
I'm going.
I'll probably go.
Yeah, I'll come along, and don't know how much help I'll be, but you never know.
Well, we need you for the package thing for part 3.
Right. All right.
So
Right.
yeah. Hopefully you could throw that together in a moment or two.
So you guys are a small party, just the three of you?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Better to keep it just us.
Uh,
Do we have that black dye? Or do we have to buy that?
Because of the fact that you guys are specifically raiding a messenger post, anywhere else it would be a whole thing of like, oh, you have to get a bunch of ink for a dye pack, but like, now you guys can like steal 6 inkwells off of a nearby drawer and use them in an alchemy thing in a pinch based on just the location itself.
Okay,
Perfect.
Let's do
I
it.
am going to run off for a bit if you guys want to do a final bit of planning before you head into port.
All right. Well,
should we have, like, someone like Bilgy or Rooker or Tiana, like, someone, going into town to try and hawk the sugar? While we do this?
Maybe we should have them. Yeah.
Because this is sort of the perfect spot for it.
yeah.
But, I mean, they won't have your smuggability.
Well, Bill G's pretty good at that sort of stuff, I think.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
He's
You know
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will also be right back for just a moment.
Okay.
All right. I guess it's just us.
More adventures of Sun and Croquill.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely shocked that we've managed to get this far in without our characters, like, actively hating each other.
I know, and even then, our relationship is only degraded.
Like, we can never have characters who genuinely like each other.
I know.
Characters, like, I would say this is probably the closest that our characters have been, and in the last episode I described us as business acquaintances.
I know.
It's like the bare minimum for a relationship.
Yeah, it's not ideal, certainly.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. One of these days our characters are going to like each other, and it's going to be the most beautiful bromance friendship ever.
Yeah, I think we'd almost have to plan that from the get-go.
Yeah, right? Like,
And even if we did, Will would make us hate each other somehow.
Yeah, Will would make us hate each other somehow. Not only that, the next character that I was planning on bringing in was meant to be the exact opposite of you. Where they're also an explosives expert, but they're an alchemical explosives expert. And I wanted to see if I could just really annoy the hell out of you by like you're doing like, well, we would need this caliber of explosion, and this caliber is like, what are you talking about? Just mix this up and make it go boom. Just to be your complete and total opposite, and I wanted to do that.
Oh god.
It's a little bit of a sneak peek of the next character that I'm planning.
You always plan your characters out, and it's always wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm always like, what if TF2 engineer?
But at least you do a little bit of planning. I'm like the session before we start, or like the day before we start. I'm like, okay,
Jane was
so maybe I should start thinking about
created in session.
Yeah.
Same with Vesta. Both of them were created in session, where it's just like, what if you're just a baker?
Just a baker. And Jane is like, what if I'm just a person?
A person who just likes to shoot a crossbow. I think like the only basis of Jane's character was you wanted to use a crossbow.
Yeah, no, like originally it was just like, you know, nobody really uses crossbows. Why does nobody ever use crossbows? I'm gonna make a crossbow character.
Yeah.
And that's
in fairness, that's how most of my characters like are. I just think about it beforehand a lot.
I don't think about it at all.
Like, Salus was just, what if I make the edgiest character possible?
Yeah.
Reggie was, what if I make the tankiest character possible? Croco was just, what if blind monk?
Yeah.
I like the fact that like there's such a stark difference between like Croquil and Salus in terms of Salus was trying so hard to be edgy and failing, and Croquil is trying so hard not to be edgy and failing. Like Croquil's IRL edgy. Croquil is like, what? I'm just a friend who has a bird. It's fine. And everyone else is like, you're a weird sea child. What is your backstory? What's wrong with you?
Where did you come from? Whence did you go?
Where'd you come from, Cotton-Eyed Joe?
Alright, so what's the plan?
Cotton-Eyed Croquil.
So, I think we're planning to do the investigation and do the bomb, whatever we need to do. We wanted someone, like, from the crew to unload the flour or sugar while we were in there. Probably like Bilgi, Tiana, I don't know. Someone needs to find like a cellar kind of thing.
Do you elect someone, or do you leave it to the four of them with a shrug?
Leave it to the four of them, I would.
Yeah. Leave it to the four of them.
I know. As soon as I said that, I'm like, man, I sounded like Yoda there.
Lied, the recruiter did.
So yeah, you guys, as you're prepping to leave, you just kind of go like, hey, you guys want to do the sugar thing? They'll just kind of nod and immediately, like, to themselves start planning out their own business for the rest of the day. How much sugar do you have? Do you remember?
Yeah, you have it written down. I have 10 gold's worth of sugar.
I have 5 gold of sugar.
I have 1 sugar.
Yeah.
1 gold of sugar, I believe that means.
Yeah, because I think it was by the bags. All right, so they're going to go and offload 16 gold's worth of sugar here in the port of Eastlanding, secretly. The three of you guys make your way out of the docks. You can see that the soldiers still there, watching the port, keeping an eye on you, rapscallions.
Oh.
You guys don't know the city super well. That being said, your cover is that you're here to pick up supplies, so it kind of really aligns well. It's if you want to tell a good lie, you tell a very true lie, and you guys are definitely just adventurers here to check out the city. You can go up port, down port, and through the gatehouse. You'd have to go further based on the way things turn to really see kind of what's where.
Well, I'm saying this under my breath. Well, do we want to just ask somebody where we could mail a letter? And that we hate the rookery?
Yeah, sounds valid.
Well,
We gotta find some people who look like, man,
Posh.
I love Imperials.
Yeah, look for someone posh.
Yeah.
You slowly look over your shoulder at the cop that's been watching you the whole time.
Maybe not that guy.
No, I think that's the guy. Who else would know better than him? A fine, upstanding officer of the law.
Can I, I want to go up to him and just
No,
be like...
he knows we have a port pass. He knows we have a port pass. We can't ask him.
Why can't we ask him?
Because the port pass, isn't it specifically rookery?
Roll politics.
I thought anyone could apply for a port pass in the Empire. I mean, we've certainly used it for non-rookery business.
10.
Yeah.
What was that?
10.
10. It's a port pass, so it's no matter what, it's high profile. The rookery is definitely one, but it could also be like if you're on like diplomatic business.
Sure.
Like if you have like really high clearance from the emperor or something, or if you're with a very large company who can leverage these kinds of things, like if you have like somebody who has 100 ships at their command as a shipping company and who couldn't afford to give like priority shippers port passes, that kind of thing. Or you could just be really, really rich adventurers who paid to have like a private port pass, in which case you'd want to play yourselves off as like nobles. Jane, do you want to give me a smuggling roll?
Yes, I would. $21.
21. If you, Jane, pretend to be the noble, which you, if anything, you don't really have to pretend that hard to do it, and pretend that they're your hired adventurers, you could say it's your port pass. That being said, they would ask you questions and that might get you identified, so that's risky unless you really want to be like leaning hard into the excuse me, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What you could also do is just say that you're here on behalf of any number of local like major distribution companies, and they'll probably buy it. There's so many of them that they wouldn't be able to tell you apart.
That, definitely, because I have to do less acting. Again, Jane's not very good at social stuff.
Yeah.
Who is?
I am. So I'd probably be playing the role of the servant in this case. I do all the talking while you just kind of do your haughtiness in the back.
Did you say hotness in the back?
No,
is this HOTTINESS or HAUGHTINESS?
The second one.
Okay, so this is like a
yes, and not a like.
But weren't we thinking of the distribution company though?
Yeah, but it could be both.
Distribution company. No, that's what we're doing. So I don't need to. That's what we're doing.
All right. So you kind of like mumble to each other and kind of push forward, and Croco, you're in front, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're here on behalf of this one." I'll say you know for sure. You don't have to roll for it, but improv me a company.
Mandible Blue Shipping.
The guard kind of gives a surprised look and goes, "Huh, I didn't know Mandible Blue went this far south."
Yeah, establishing a new branch.
I've seen a couple of you, but rare thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, what did you need?
We need to know where we can send a letter for our reports.
Right. Okay. If you check... Okay, go down the road 3 blocks, then take a left 2, between the first and second of the 2 blocks, you should come across the messenger station. That one's going to have horses.
Okay, awesome.
The directions he's giving us are not the directions to the rookery, right?
No.
Okay. Just in
Perfect.
that case, I'll just kind of like tap my staff into the ground and say, "Thank you very much. Have a good day."
Safe travels. Good sales. And hey, give me a stock tip if you have one, eh?
I turn back and just kind of go, "Chickadee Mining Company," and then tap my nose and then move on.
As he said that, Sun was right in the middle of, well, you want to make sure it's rounded and long enough, and not too...
So you're sitting there and you're like rounded and not too, and you're Chickadee Mining Company, and it dawns on you and go, oh. Meanwhile, Croquill, you are smiling like the fucking Cheshire Cat because you basically, given what you know,
Yeah.
it's like telling someone to invest in GameStop after it started happening. Basically just saying, hey, you want to throw your money in a hole?
Yeah, and the problem is they'll know just enough about GameStop to go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like you know that they're going to go, a prominent mining company, I believe it, except one day an article's going to come out and that investment is just going to be gone.
Oof.
Yeah.
So you follow the directions 3 blocks, and then you go past the first one. You need to find the messenger post. You can see that there's a number of people like getting onto horses and riding them up and down the block. Here, there's like a bunch of canals, but there's like a larger plinth structure that's been made by the edge of the stable so that they can like, quickly ride the horses over the canal and in either direction.
Cool.
Sweet.
What do you do?
The plan is this towards the Emperor's place?
From what you can see, when you were in the docks, the direction you were sent was roughly towards the palace. You're definitely not there yet. You haven't gone that far into the city. But
Okay, so
here
this
the
is
buildings are...
Sorry, continue.
Now that you're here, though, the buildings are tall enough that, like, you can't see that far. You know that things are getting denser. There's a lot more travelers and traders and tourists in particular.
Because what we could always do is just see what it looks like.
Mhm.
And then try to go closer to the palace and try to find another place that looks just like it.
Yeah.
Because we know for sure that this is one.
Yeah. We gotta find that one McDonald's so we know what a McDonald's looks like, so we can go and find the other McDonald's.
Yeah.
I guess a more apt description in this case would be Canada Post.
So are you guys sussing this place out so you can identify the other ones in the city and then doing that as soon as possible, or are you staking it out?
I don't see why there'd be more than one messenger post per city.
They travel by horses. It might be more efficient.
Well, it's just a legit. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look.
And
We'll see
also,
how close we to the
having a
palace.
messenger post right next to the Emperor's place sounds bougie enough to exist.
Yeah.
That checks out.
So what's it going to be? Quick scope or long scope?
360 no scope.
I think quickly scope it out and then go looking. I think it's what we should do.
Oh, I was gonna spin around in my chair, but I remember this cord would like make that actually end horribly.
It's a dangerous moment. Somebody want to roll me long odds?
Even. That's 2 5s.
Both odd. All right, so you're looking this thing up and down. You see the sign. You see that like it has Imperial insignia, and the people there are wearing Imperial uniforms. This is a government post. Your first instinct is, okay, is there anybody watching us, watching them? You see that there's guards, but they haven't noticed you yet. It's then that, there is an armored car that makes its way into that location. They, like, based on where you are, you're kind of weirdly across in a way. So they closed the door it came in from, but you guys see from like the second garage door, because you're right at the right spot, that they're unloading and taking messages out. And you can see them take a gilded lockbox out.
Ooh. Fancy.
So you see that there is one person holding it who is wearing a different outfit from the rest with a golden hat.
How fucking fancy. Should
There's
we
a
follow
little-
this dude, or like what?
Oh, there's a little golden fella. Yeah, I'd say if we tail him, Croakville, do you have any more of those tracking bolts?
I mean, yeah, but do you want to fire a crossbow in the middle of a crowded area?
Good point. What if you just threw it real fast?
Does anybody here speak Draconic?
No.
Would Steel Fist have taught me Draconic?
Yes.
Then yes.
Steelfist specifically would have taught you like the kid shit, like you would know a bunch of swear words and like hello goodbye. But that's enough that you hear someone say the word shit, and then like the person in the golden hat kind of like awkwardly shrugs and starts walking down the street while someone else in the warehouse makes their way to an outhouse.
That dude's got a shit.
How can you tell?
I heard him say shit in Draconic.
And then walk to the outhouse.
Oh.
I can also insult
magic.
your mother in Draconic, but I don't think that's very appropriate given the situation.
Okay, well...
There's at least like one mom with some kids who kind of gives the group a glare while going down the street. At the same time, there's like 3 different adults who kind of like chuckle watching the situation transpire.
Okay, well...
Golden Hat guy crosses the street.
Let's follow him.
And he's around the corner.
Okay, follow him. Go around the corner and see if we can still see him.
You're a little ways back, so you kind of have to hustle. By the time you make your way around the corner, you can see he's waiting because there's like some horses and wagons crossing, and then he goes across the next intersection. You're one like block away from this guy.
Okay, continue following him, I guess.
You guys shuffle along. There is a wagon that crosses, and once you're past the intersection, you know the guy was going like further. You don't know where he is though. You've lost sight. You're heading up to the gatehouse.
Is there somewhere where I can just like sit down? An alley, perhaps?
Odds or evens?
Odds. I rolled a 1.
All right. So you're like, all right, place to sit. You figure you've lost the guy, so you like kind of sit a little place. There's a noodle shop that's burrowed out into the side of the walls. These are inner fortifications that have been centuries obsolete, so they're like old and crumbling. From there, you guys sit down at like a booth table, and as you're kind of going, where is the door kind of clatters, and you see this guy kind of like sit down with a huff at a nearby table, muttering something in Draconic.
At that point, Croco was just like, well, I was going to send out Warbles to do some spying, but if he's just going to show right up.
Can you keep your voice down? All right, well. I gotta go purchase some ink at some point.
So Jane and
I
I
don't
will
know.
keep on this
Yeah?
person.
Yeah, I don't know how good I'm gonna be at these things. I feel like I'm just gonna get in the way.
Okay.
All right, son, you break from the group. You are at like the wall side noodle shop. They've sat down at a table. You are right by the guard post, so you're a pretty short distance away from your boat. You're not that far from the messenger post. Where you go?
Okay. Well, I gotta make an exploding ink sac thing.
Excuse me, messenger post. Yes, I would like to purchase probably about half a dozen ink sacks. I need to make it
Yeah.
bomb. But if you get bombed, that has nothing to do with us.
Not me. I'd only make a lethal bomb if I had my way. So you know it ain't me. Do I still have?
Only.
Do I still have some of that paint left over from when we were making like the demo?
It was black.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's go. I was worried that we were gonna have to fight our way through, but don't think we're gonna have to. So they're gonna be fine by themselves. And I'll go make a bomb.
All right. You would need to destroy one of the cannonballs to do this. One of the paintball cannonballs.
Yeah, that makes
give
sense.
me a munitions roll.
Sure thing. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's a 13 plus 6, which is 19. That's 29.
29. You successfully puncture without blowing up the paintball, and then you drain all the ink out. It's still, because it's been kept in a proper sealed container, it hasn't really degraded much.
Perfect.
It needs to separate a bit, so you give it a bit of a stir, but it's in good condition. Tell me about what you're making. This is supposed to be a letter bomb.
Right. So when it comes to a
it's
letter
just
bomb,
dawned on me that it may be a bad idea to live on Twitch run a D&D game where we're actively making explosives. That's not the best idea.
no, probably not.
What are you
But
talking about?
But let's go with it because it might be cool to get on the knock on the door one day for the story, you know?
Yeah. Essentially what I'm thinking
So
of
we're
is
concerned about how detailed you are able to be in creating a letter bomb.
Yeah.
The real thing we're not supposed to say is that this is 12th grade chemistry tops.
Yeah. Basically what I want to do is make a mouse trap where when so it'll be held kind of open in the envelope, but then as soon as that envelope is no longer there to support the springy thing, it goes whap, and that's the mechanism. Right. And I'm gonna put a bit of gunpowder in there to really spray the paint, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want there to be ideally
it slaps closed on a small propellant charge. How does the ink disperse?
Yeah, this would be easier just to make a full-ass bomb. Getting ink everywhere, but alright, that's the task that I'm assigned. I think that the whole letter... Okay. You got a thin packet of ink, another thin packet of ink, and the interior is all gunpowder.
Like an ice cream sandwich.
Like an ice cream sandwich, like a fragmentation grenade, but the fragments are ink.
Okay. So you start to get about making this, and you make the interior... Give me a second munitions roll for the interior assembly.
Yeehaw, that's not as good of a roll. That is going to be a 22.
All right, you put this thing together. Are you that ballsy of an explosive maker that you're willing to give this thing a nice whack to make sure it's good?
For sure. We don't want it blowing up in the mail.
So you sit there with an actively charged die pack and go, all right, pins in, pap, pap, and it jiggles a little bit. The pin is stable. It doesn't really dislodge without the pin being removed from the container. You need a copy, though. You need someone who can make you a forged imperial letter. Or you need a copy of one. This is more of a solve a problem kind of situation.
I was playing.
Don't we have an example of imperial notes? We have those imperial notes.
Yeah.
The ones that we got from the big explosion.
This is true.
We had like we had like a crate full of Imperial notes, didn't we?
Yep. We have
Oh,
to.
those were like dollar bills.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
like letters.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what? I was kind of planning to find another letter and slip this one in there. Now that we are able to reseal things with wax.
I'm gonna leave Sun sitting there, like in the middle of making this die pack. Meanwhile, the other two of you guys, Jane and Crowquill, you're sitting at the noodle shop. You're watching as like a waiter comes over and goes, "Hey, noodles. Get you anything special or just noodles?"
Just noodles.
Noodles?
Yeah.
2 noodles. All right. 4 copper then.
I give him 4 copper.
Cool. Makes his way up.
Okay. Like, this is a fairly nice city, I guess.
You can hear the hustle and bustle's going like a little ways on. Somebody sits down at a nearby table and starts kind of like mumbling some stuff in Draconic to someone else. The other person laughs. The discussion goes on a little bit. Nearby, the messenger starts nervously tapping at the table. And at this point, Crowquill, you hear it like fuck. And then specifically, it's a twist of the Draconic tongue. You hear like goddamn vents. Which is like, it's a genital thing. Vent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what lizards got, don't they?
The waiter comes out. You hear the clink as he puts down a like bowl by the messenger's table. He's coming back. You can see he's got like the other 2 bowls for the 2 of you. But you overhear like, "Hey, keep the change. I'm taking the bowl." And it goes, "Hey, no. Messenger goes, "Come on, you want to mess with an Imperial messenger?" The guy pulls him close. At this point, the discussion gets terse and it's in Draconic. The messenger gives the guy like an angry look. The other guy gives him like a bit of like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And then the noodle shop owner comes out, just kind of separates them and just kind of like waves them apart. The noodle shop owner like takes the 2 bowls and goes like, "I'm sorry for your trouble." Puts some like in a ceramic bowl. I mean, like a nice one. You guys both have like some easy to go noodles. There's another guy leaving with the ceramic bowl, the messenger, who's going uptown.
Well, since we got our noodles to go, I suppose we can to go then.
Yeah.
I thank the
You
man
guys-
and tell him to have a nice day, and we go on our way.
At this point, because you did it so quick and in quick succession, you get up and leave, and this guy doesn't even argue with you like he did the last customer. He just goes, and you guys leave with ceramic bowls too. These are actually nice bowls.
I thought he handed us to go bowls. No, sorry. Whoops.
At this point, I'm going to say that that's Crowquill going, "Wait, shit," as Jane's already dragging you from the scene after the plan's taken place.
Wait, this bowl feels real nice. Oh, no!
You start to feel less and less regret because it's like, well, the chopsticks aren't bad, and like is this embossed? Oh, it has the name of the restaurant. That's nice.
We'll always have a memory of
There's
this.
nothing classier than a bowl with the name of the restaurant you stole it from.
You stumble your way back to the general rookery, and the guy goes back inside. A few minutes pass, and then you can see that like the garage door opens, and they're taking some time to like prep some horses and get them ready. You probably have about 10 minutes before you're going to have to start following this cart.
All right. Do you want to follow this cart on foot, or do you want me to follow it by air?
Oh, I see. Probably by air.
We didn't really need to leave the restaurant in that case. I'm just gonna.
Nah. Jane's gonna make these are nice bowls, Thomas.
Yeah, Rooker will probably really like these bowls.
It's a suspicious moment where you see like the name of an actual restaurant in someone's cups, and you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah, how have you obtained these?
I have at least one pizza apron because they didn't ask me to hand it back, and I forgot to give it back, and nobody said anything. So now I have a pizza branded apron.
I have Tim Hortons hat.
Oh,
it's covered in glaze.
When I finished, I was so happy to give the uniform back. I never wanted to see it in my life.
Because they're not like nice clothes.
No,
they're not.
No.
And they smelled like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't know what happened to my Tim Hortons clothes that I had.
You had to give them back.
They didn't really ask for them back, though.
The pizza was just the reason you had aprons. Like I didn't use the apron much. I mostly just wore the normal uniform, but it was a movie theater. You got butter in there. It was dairy. It had to go.
Yeah. God. When I worked at the pizza place, and I just kept my hat and my shirt. I like that hat. It's a good hat. Me and that hat have been through a lot.
Was yours more of like a chain, or was it more of like a mom and pop kind of deal?
It was 2-for-1 pizza, which is a chain.
Mm-hmm. It's the most deceptive chain because it's like a confederacy of indie shops.
Yes. And the owner was like rebelling against the chain at every opportunity. Like, I don't understand who he kept this establishment like legally. Like, I know he had to pay his dues or whatever, but he was just like, yeah, they want me to make it this way, but I don't really want to keep those ingredients, and they charge too much from the company store, so I just straight up go to like the grocery store and buy cheese and then grate it by hand. And like,
well, that's the thing, right? It's like with so many like pizza chains, it's like it's about with any like fast food chain in general. It's about the fact that you want to have a consistent experience, so that like especially like if you're on the road and like you pick something up in Toronto, and then you pick something up in Utica, New York, and then you pick something up in Phoenix, Arizona, and then you drop off your pallets. Like, you want those pizzas to taste more or less like Domino's, depending on the Domino's.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know where 2-for-1s are, but, like, I've seen 2-for-1s my entire life as this weird, shady pizza confederacy.
So no, absolutely.
I don't think they're anywhere near Niagara Falls, because I never had 2-for-1. But I got through university thanks to 2-for-1.
Yeah, they're good shit. And I think the core of it is that like their unifying principle is they kind of let them remain a little bit mom and pop, like because it's like the axiom. It's like first the pizza place shows up and it's like top tier pizza, and then it stabilizes to a sustainable good pizza for a long while. And then it becomes normal, and then it becomes standard. And that's when the pizza shop it's not dead. It's a profitable enterprise for a long time, and the owners do well for a significant amount of while. But, like, the magic is gone, you know?
No, absolutely.
And I think that the thing with the 2-for-1s is that they let the owners kind of keep a little bit of the magic. But this is from an external viewpoint. Never worked there.
Yeah.
Well, as someone who did work there, the only reason I worked there is because the company was like, hey, dog, for legal reasons, you need to have at least one employee. Like, you can't just be the only guy there. And then if you don't, like, when you go home, the store is closed. Like, you need to have at least one person there. And he's like, yeah, well, I'll hire Gabe because he doesn't care how many hours he's getting because he's a high school student. Like, so I'd show up and they're like, okay, you have an employee, thank God. And I was not a good pizza employee. I'm really sorry, Harrison. I was not good at my job. He never taught me how to work the cash register. He just assumed I knew how to do it.
Oof.
And normally he was there to work it, but every once in a while, like, he was the delivery driver. He got fed up with all the idiots that were delivering food, not like prioritizing him. So he would just get in his minivan and drive it himself, and then leave me to like make the pizzas that were coming in. But anytime a customer came into the building, they were met with this like high school kid in sunglasses that was so terrified because he didn't know which buttons to push. He'd be like, yeah, can I get like a medium? And I want like mushrooms and pepperoni. I'm like, slow down! Oh my god, which buttons do I hit?
God, I just remembered this. So the first year that I worked at the movie theater, there was a cast meeting, and I think they stopped doing this, like just for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like a few years later, but like they had like a complaint and a compliment they would go through, like a couple of them. It was like 3 or so. But the first year I worked there, the first complaint they went through, and arguably the worst, I don't remember what it was. It was just one of those drawn out, like, shitty customer experiences with like a bad server.
Yeah.
And it was on my first day. That was the worst complaint. And their best complaint was like, you know how there's some people who are just cheery? Like, you don't even do anything, they'll just be happy with the experience. Like, it was one of those where it's like, this person wasn't really getting that great of a customer experience. They were just being treated okay by a person who worked at a place and was like, I'm going to write a very, very happy review.
Yeah.
So like, I was both the best and worst that year. And never again. I never had a single customer anything again, which I mean is it's what you want. You want to be a person who works at a place and keeps it running. But
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie, I'm the type of person who, if asked, would leave a glowing review for a person, just being like, oh yeah, no, they did the job, perfectly satisfactory. They, like, you know, server at a restaurant, didn't talk to me too much, got my food, got my order right first time, 5 stars.
Hell yeah.
It's like one, are you genuinely going to leave a good review because you've had a good experience? Are you going to leave a good review because your standards are low? Or are you going to leave a good review because you've got that guy's back against the manager? And sometimes it's all three, right? Sometimes you're just like, three. I got you. This was a good time. And to be honest, I would have been satisfied with a shitty time. Like, I'm the sort of person who will walk away from the drive-thru with kind of the wrong order and just be like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, let's try this. Fuck it might be good.
Like, if it's wrong enough, I'll put it back. But sometimes you're just like, you know what? Sure, I'll take it with barbecue sauce. Like,
hell yeah. Maybe I'll love with barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta focus.
Yeah.
I gotta get up early in the morning, guys.
All right, so you guys finally see this guy like get back into the wagon and start going up the road. I'm going to jump back to the boat. You don't have a sample letter.
Ugh. Well, I'm gonna go trotting off looking for somebody on the boat that might be able to do that. Gonna go up to Tanya.
All right, so you walk up to Tiana and you're like, forgery? Tiana goes, Crowquill.
But she can't. She can't. So I need a letter.
I can't explain it.
Crowquill doesn't walk up to you, but you distinctly remember Crowquill, Senior Wagon Inspector.
You know hand-eye coordination?
Yeah.
You can get by on hand. Just Crowquill.
Well, all right. I guess I'll. So wait for them to get back.
I like the idea.
You know, I hear there's like an urban legend, and then in the background you hear Rooker going, "That's only half true, and it's not that big a thing."
An urban legend.
They say that all your senses get sharper, and like you can do backflips. No, and you can like hear people coming around corners. Like, you can do that already. And then Tiana's like, and you can like fight people real good. I was like, no,
that doesn't sound right to me. I'm sorry.
Rooker at this point is kind of like waddled up and is like, what are we talking about, superpowers?
I don't know. Blame her. I think she's into it or something. I don't know.
Why are you holding explosive?
It's my job. Were you not at the meeting?
No, I was at the meeting. I was just. Are we hanging out with the explosive for dinner, or?
No. I need a letter.
Because I have to know if I have to, spoon out a few more servings, or.
No, explosives. They don't.
Absolutely, every now and then we can have some guests, but long term, I have a budget.
I feel like you're mocking me right now.
I am, yes.
Okay, just wanted to be sure. No, listen, I need to put this in a letter, and then.
I think Croco would be good for that.
But Crowquill can't see.
I can't forge and I can see. I mean, you can make explosives, but you can't explode.
Is he high? Have you been doing that weed? This shit's no good. Ooh.
Is it 420 in the Bloodwine universe as well?
Oh my god. I'm losing my mind.
It's okay, we are completed with the fucking with you. You should go talk to Crowquill about that.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, where do you put it?
In a box. So that it's safe. It won't explode while I'm jiggling and jangling.
You're looking around. There's an empty crate, like a full size empty crate, and then there's like a grocery box, but without a lid, so it would just be open.
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll put it in a crate and drag the crate around. That makes the most sense to me.
Put it in the box and then throw clothes on top of it or something.
You do like 3 different passes of the ship looking for a crate before finally realizing you don't have a crate.
No crate, eh? Alright, well, yeah, I'll put it in a box and close the lid of the box, and if anyone asks, it's bullets.
So you pick up the box, you put it down, you put this thing in, you do another pass of the boat, you don't have a lid.
Clothes. Throw your rooker. Throw some clothes on top of it. Or some rags.
Put ammunition inside of it.
Yeah, no, I'm straight up putting some bullets on top.
You shrug, you put it down, and then you just put a couple of crates of bullets on top and start walking off.
It ought to do it. No one will suspect this one.
At this point, you kind of chuckle because you're walking down with like a box full of boxes of like bullets, and so people are giving you a wide berth, so you don't have to worry about weaseling past people with an explosive. They're just giving you the space.
Yeah, this was a good plan.
You start walking up the pier, and you can see that like Sun and Crowquill have just gone past a corner as there's an armored car moving up the road.
Well, I'll go up and say, hey, waddle and carry my big heavy box. Hey, any luck finding the guy?
Truck.
Any
luck making a bomb?
Box.
Ah.
I will say, this is an armored car, so Crowquill is on the shiny. Or, sorry, Warbles is on the shiny.
So,
You're having a hard time with names today, Will.
I am. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the copious amounts of alcohol. It might be that.
So, Crowquill, I heard that you could do you're good at writing letters.
I mean, I can write a letter, sure. What
No,
do you
I
need me
heard
to
you're
write?
like, well, I mean, that's the real trick, isn't it?
The wagon turns a corner. You
Right.
guys are about a block away.
We need to keep going. Can you explain on the go?
Look, but I need a letter that'll reach the Empress.
Oh, you need an Imperial note. Yeah, sure.
You turn a corner, you go through an intersection.
Jay,
There's a
do you have
horse
one of
that
my tracker darts on you?
Yeah, probably.
Alright. I'm just gonna quickly, like, tap activate one. And just be like,
Tap!
I'll catch up.
Oh, all right.
And then just kind of be like, yeah. So, it was like, yeah, Boru had me make one a while back. Let me try and remember what exactly we needed to say on it.
Sorry, so what's happening with the bolt?
I'm going to be tracking Jane, who is following the thing.
Yeah, it's just the bolt. It's been turned on, and I'm keeping it like in my inventory, in my backpack.
Yeah,
All
makes
right.
sense.
So that
I'm
can find it.
going to cut to Jane then. So now that they've left with the box full of bullets, the crowd thickens a bit. They're not avoiding you anymore. You're against the current a little bit, and the wagon is going up the road. There's a wake behind it that they would see you, but that people are still like moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want them to know that I'm following them. So as far back as I can without losing it, and also without them noticing me.
All right, you're keeping their like a decent amount of distance, but they're getting a bit too far forward. You can see that you're near like an intersecting road. These are also multi-story houses, and because there's a lot of Pythona, you can see that there's like support beams that occasionally they'll slither across to talk to a neighbor. You could probably clamber your way up to those. You're deft, right?
Yeah, I'll try it. That's a grace roll?
Mm-hmm.
$18.
All right. You run up against a nearby wall, you kick off of it, grab a hold. You kind of hold your legs up real close as you pendulum over so you don't kick anyone in the head, and then you clamber your way up. From there, you kind of like follow another pier to the other side of the intersection, and then it's like there's a bunch of balconies. Give me a couple more grace rolls in quick succession.
How many? 2? A couple? 3? 15?
15. You spin around a balcony. You just narrowly avoid like a table and a couple of chairs. You could move past a couple of potted plants and move to the next balcony.
17?
17. You swing around. From there, you clamber onto a trellis and up onto the rooftop. From there, you're able to willingly break line of sight and keep out of the way of them. There's someone on a nearby rooftop who notices you, but based on your experience with this kind of shit, especially in a city like this, they will not get word out by the time you're gone.
Another 17.
With another 17, you kind of slide over a rooftop and flip over onto a nearby empty balcony. This one's just unused. Curiously, you kind of look over and it's just an empty apartment that nobody's renting at the moment. You slip over the edge and down onto the road, and you can see that the wagon is nearby. You just kind of lean up against the wall, pretend to be like looking for a street sign, and the wagon clatters past.
I'll continue following it.
All right, the other two. What are you guys up to right now?
I just watched Jane do some crazy nonsense parkour shit, and I don't think I can replicate that. Ooh.
I just quickly felt an arrow go all over the fucking place, and just went, yeah, I don't think so either. But I'm grabbing a piece of paper, and just kind of going to someone and just be like, got any leftover ink? Anything right with?
You know, I didn't think that far ahead.
All right, fine. I take out my own I take out like a little bit of ink supply that I would have for just like ink droplets and like just general flair and style.
Yeah.
And I sort of like dip my thumb in and start rubbing my thumb while casting a ritual across the paper. And
All right, want to give me a ritual roll?
and it sort of like forms into it. Yes, I would love to, except I dropped one of my dice on the ground and I don't know where it went. And
Ooh.
that's a little bit rough. But I'll just roll this. Great, I rolled 3 1s. Fantastic. And then a 5. All right, cool.
Nice.
Fuck, that's terrible roll. Okay. So that is a 18.
18. You kind of like massage the ink into your hands and under your nails a little bit, and then you fold the paper shut where it needs to be done. You lick the side of your thumb. It wouldn't do anything if not for the ritual, and you seal it up with a little bit of like magical sealant along the edge from the right. Seems convincing enough. When you look close, it's a little smudgy, but enough that like it could be more likely attributed to a clerical error than something else.
It'll do fine if they think that the person's just left-handed.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, there is an envelope.
I give it to Sun and I start following the magic dart.
Oh, all right. I'm kind of squinting at it like, I guess that looks right. I don't really know what it's supposed to look like. And I start shoving the thing in there. Pull the little thing back and whoop, and there we go.
All right, you slip it in and seal it. You've got the letter bomb ready to go. You just need to find the right place to insert it. Following the carriage, you can see that it makes its way to another one of the messenger posts. Jane, you're already there surveilling by the time your allies catch up. It's the same thing. It's inside, getting changed up. Both of the garage doors are closed at this point, but you're at like a point where you can see the entrances at an intersection on 2 different locations, and nobody's going like in or out. At this point, you're close to a very major road. Like there's a big stone bridge that crosses over one of the bigger canals. This one, ships don't really go up and down. This is like a public water canal. There's a few signs that say so nearby. A little ways up, you can see the shadow of where some big buildings are, but the nearby buildings are still too tall and looming to get a good look at the skyline from here. That being said, Jane, in your chase, you saw that you're not very far from the capital at all. You can see a couple of the buildings nearby. You're near the complex.
Okay. Do we know which building is the Emperor's place? Is this the place is what I'm asking. Like
you're not sure if this is the one yet. You're getting closer though.
Okay.
It's also getting quite late.
Continuing on.
All right, you guys wave a bit more sleep from your eyes and go, okay, get ready for this one to leave again. You look around and you can see that like there's some drunk people wandering around. There's a couple of people smoking in the alleys. You can hear the chuckling and the lights of some parties upstairs. But like parents and children have gone to bed, and you don't see a lot of people out here working.
All right.
The wagon leaves again.
All right, let's go. Continuing on.
Follow that boy.
Follow that?
Yeah.
You guys follow this wagon a little ways. At this point, the crowd is thinned out enough, and there's enough drunk people that you guys like moving past and squeezing past people isn't quite as conspicuous. It's a convenient time of night to tail someone until things thin out. Once you get closer to the complex, because a lot of these are government buildings and stuff like that, things are a bit thinner. You can see that there's actually like a checkpoint at the like guard post at the inner walls. The inner walls are a lot like the other fortifications. They've been burrowed into a certain amount, but these ones here like are a little bit better kept. Like you have to have permits to dig into them, that kind of stuff. All the businesses face outward and don't have access to the inside or each other, that kind of thing. And you can see that there's like a lineup that's being built as if people are lining up for a like theater performance or something. The wagon slows a little as they're getting people to go through. You can see that there's a gatehouse, and based on the time of night it is, if it weren't for this concert, they would probably close the gate so that you wouldn't be able to follow the carriage through.
All right, go through the concert, I guess. We gotta follow that wagon.
Follow that wagon.
All right, so you guys see the gatehouse. You can see a bunch of like there's a street that follows the fortifications, and one side of the street is all like dug into it with little signs and outposts and stairs up and stuff like that. The actual gatehouse, though, the wagon goes through and then the guards close it off. There is a bunch of static people just waiting in line, slowly making their way through.
Are they checking them?
The guards aren't, but the line isn't moving very quickly.
Son, you might not want to have that crate of ammunition.
It might be best for Sun to head back to the ship, actually.
All right. I can see when I'm not wanted.
I'll slip his like ink
It's-
bomb
yeah.
underneath my cloak.
Well,
Actually,
yeah.
it'd probably be best
Wait.
for you to have it. You're the
have you
smuggler.
not set it up in the envelope already?
It's in the
Oh,
envelope.
it's set up.
It's
So,
an ink bomb.
Jane, do you want to roll a smuggling roll?
So I thought you guys had prepared that fully.
Yeah, it's all prepared. It's still an ink bomb, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it not like in the
It looks like a
envelope?
letter.
It is.
Yeah, it looks like a letter.
So
Yeah.
it's not, is it ready to like hand into the post office?
Oh, it is.
Okay, so it's just a letter then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to outside people, yes. To us, it's a fucking ink bomb that I don't want on me.
18.
18. You see Sun and Croquill, both notable figures because Sun is wearing fucking flip-flops and cargo shorts and a Guy Fieri-ass, like, button-up Hawaiian. And Croquill's sitting there, like, with a bird on her shoulder, holding a stick, like, bickering. You don't have time for this. It's best if you just snatch this out of their hands and go.
Okay, I do that.
So, and you... Jane, want to roll delicate? / smuggling, your choice.
Smuggling. Smuggling is better.
Yep.
Okay. $22.
22. Like picking up a CD or a record, Son, you look and you see Jane's fingers just kind of grasp it around the edge delicately and slide it out of your fingers with a wink, and she just goes.
All right then.
All right, Jane, you're running out of time. There is a slow-moving crowd. If you blend into them, you might not be able to catch up. You would have to really bust your ass past there. There's a bunch of guards that you might be able to deke out, but you would attract them, or you could try to find your way over the wall. There's a bunch of nearby businesses built into the wall that have like steps up and signs and doorways and stuff like that.
I want to do a quick scan. How difficult would it be for me to get over the wall?
You'd be sweating.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
All
I don't
right.
want to be running from guards for sure.
It's a 50. Give me a roll. Tell me what the roll is.
A roll for Grace.
That works.
Okay. Oof. My brain. Okay, I got an 11. I got a really bad roll there.
All right. Do you take damage to pass?
Yeah,
All right. You take 39.
Ooh.
nice.
So you're waiting, making sure no one's looking, and then you take a jump off of like, you know how there will be like stairs built into a wall that are kind of sideways, and then you take a 90-degree into a door. It's that you jump. There's a nearby signpost you grab onto. You feel the chain kind of loosen. You go, oh shit! You clamber your way up, and then that starts to crack a little bit. You're like, fuck! You jump. You grab a window, and then you hang for a second. It's good. You steady your feet, and then you see a guard just kind of squint, and then you go, shit! You lurch your way up and get on top of the walls for a brief moment. You look back and forth. There's no one up here, but you're not supposed to be here. So you bolt, you quickly go down the stairs while no one's looking, and you're on the other side. Right now, you're in the Palace District. It's not so restricted that, like, they'll just shoot you on sight. But, like, if anyone sees you, they're going to be like, hey, what are you doing here? This is somewhere you're not supposed to be.
Okay,
As a group, do you guys want to follow the Jane chase or go with Croquill and Sun?
I feel like we're just kind of waiting for her.
Let's go to Croquill and Sun, just as Jane, like just for a little bit, because that's just going to be Sun going. So, that's a nice bowl you got.
Yeah, think Rooker will like it.
I don't know. Did they like give it to you for? Did you help them with something? And they're like, oh hey, you have a bowl from our restaurant.
Yeah, they did. They were really appreciative of the review that we left, and so they.
And it smash cuts, and it's like, doop, 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 and Jane ducks into an alley. You quickly sprint around. You stop before a guard moves past, and you make your way a bit closer. You can see that the armored cart has gone past a couple of noble homes. You can see that there's someone lying on a chair on an upstairs balcony kind of smoking. You're very close because of the jump you made, but you now are kind of like trapped. There's someone on the balcony. You can see that there's someone who's obviously a noble with a couple bodyguards kind of like chatting with another noble near the intersection. The wagon is going along, and you can see a guard passing. Where you are, you could try to make your way through the alleys further, lose some time doing a big circle. You could try to play it cool on your way past, or you could or you could do like the alley underneath the balcony guy. You'd have to be sneaky there, but then you could gain some time.
I'll be sneaky underneath the balcony, I think. That's the way I'll go.
All right. Grace or Delicate? Or Brawn, your choice.
Grace.
All right, give me a roll.
$19.
19. You wait for the right moment. You're hoping that they don't notice you at the intersection. The wagon's already gone past. There's like a half second that passes. You see on the balcony there's a puff of smoke, and you run, and you're underneath. From there, you make your way around the alley. You turn a corner, and you're behind this wagon a little ways further. You can see that there's just one lone lantern lit on the street. There aren't any people moving past. It's probably not supposed to be open this late, but there's a big garage door that opens, and they let the wagon in. This is the last stop.
Okay.
One of the doors nearby is propped open. As you can see, there's a messenger having a smoke.
Can I sneak in and quickly drop off the letter? Or
This guy's like 5 feet from the entrance. He might notice. What's your approach? The garage doors have been left open, but they'll be closed any second now. That'll be the open warehouse, though, so they might see you walk right in.
I'm going to throw a rock down the alley. Make the messenger guy look the other way, be like, huh, what was that?
What the
Huh?
Roll me long odds.
Long odds? Okay.
Who the hell is throwing rocks?
Must have been the wind.
evens.
Man.
Okay, I got an even and an odd.
All right, so you're like rock, and you look down and you're like, did they sweep the fucking roads? What the fuck? And you're like, there has to be a piece of cobble or like and you see that there's a loose kind of chunk of brick on the edge of a windowsill, and you're like, eat the rich, and you go take off a little piece. You chuck it, and the guy looks, and immediately, like, you just kind of like wait, and the guy squints and starts like checking the nearby area, going like looking out into the clearing. He is between you and the door.
Ah. Can I throw another rock?
You're kind of like scraping at the same spot you broke a piece off of before, but it's not working. The guy shrugs, and you can see him going back to his spot he was leading by the door. He's looking away from you, and he's going to walk past the door.
I'll follow him behind him.
Grace or Delicate?
Grace. Or no, Delicate, I think.
Delicate? All right.
Oh my god.
What?
I love this impromptu heist that we're doing.
I know.
20.
20. So you start stepping your way up towards the door. This guy kind of sighs, loosens his back. You sigh in unison. His gait shuffles a bit. You shuffle as well. The guy looks over his shoulder right as you kind of quickly turn past the corner to hide. And you hear him moving. You wait a quarter second and then quickly shuffle into the door.
Nice.
Sun and Croakwill.
You know, I just feel like I never really got a chance to get to know my parents, you know, and
I get it.
sometimes
I believe me, I totally understand. I was an orphan. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's tough.
well, you know,
Nearby,
I felt like
there's someone like leaning right against you guys in the middle of smoking a joint. Like, it's like, but that's the nice thing about Neon Genesis, you know, they go there. And like, I like a band that's willing to go there.
Fuck off, Will. Fuck right off with that nonsense.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so goddamn triggered that you went to fucking Neon Genesis.
Oh my god.
So Jane, you let out an exhale. You can see that there's people moving back and forth, sorting things between. They look like bookshelves. Give me a roll of your choice. What's your angle here?
Smuggler.
Okay, and then what's the second place? You've got three rolls. Smuggler is definitely your number one priority.
Smuggler, then Grace, then
What's the
maybe
third
like a politics. Where should I place this letter so that it gets?
All right, so roll me the smuggler first. You're in an advantageous position, and you're scoping out the warehouse.
Okay. 21.
21. You look over this place from a security standpoint. The nearby shelves are just open, which is a security risk on its own, but inside further, you can see that most of them are unlocked. It seems like they're relying purely on like security theater and vigilance. You actually won't face any obstacles here. If anything, it's just a matter of finding the right spot. This is a red flag for the Imperial messaging security. Want to give me a grace roll?
Imagine if we actually had time to plan a heist. We could take every letter from this place.
Yeah.
11 for my grace roll.
11. As you're looking around, you're seeing what kind of angle you could go for. You definitely shouldn't climb these. They're too rickety and they'll make noise. People are going back and forth, so you might have to just do it really slow, bit by bit. Would not be the best way to approach this warehouse. Want to give me the last one? It was politics, right?
Yeah, politics. Ooh, much better of a roll. But I only used 2 dice, so 14.
14. You're looking at the indexes and you see one that says payroll ledger. You know that around here, in the Empire specifically and nowhere else in the world, they're starting to try and implement paper money.
Ha! It'll never catch on.
Yeah, but it's going to the Empress. She's not going to get payroll.
Well, she's not involved in payroll.
I'll look at it. See what's there.
All right. Croquill and Son.
And I keep telling you that that band is overrated and so does not belong on the scene at all.
Well, I thought we were here for the emotions, you know, the nostalgia and how things used to be. And I'm sorry if I, awakened something or whatever. But, I mean...
Listen,
At this point, you hear one of the guards nearby going, "Hey, is that a weed?"
I've never heard of Booby Patrol before. What's one of their songs?
You're messing with me. I know.
No.
Look,
No, I don't.
all I'm saying is their fucking breakout album, My Mom's a Mech, is just... It's trash, alright? That's all I'm saying, is it's trash.
It's about the symbolism. The guy quietly, palms his roach and, looks from side to side as the guards kind of, they don't approach. They just get a little bit closer and they see you the guys disperse and then they just leave you be.
Well, that guy was weird.
He was an idiot, that's what he was.
I mean, maybe. I wish I knew more about this band.
It's an overrated band from the Empire. It's not relevant. Just everyone at Redwine was going fucking crazy for them. I didn't fucking see the point. So what? Lost Parent album, stupid album name. It's grew up.
No, now hang on. There might be something deeper going on here.
At this point, there's a couple of people in line who start piping up, being like, it wasn't even one of their better ones, and suddenly the album talk starts dispersing its way through the crowd. Jane, you are a few shelves deeper. There's not too many people here working, especially because it's later at night and this is the last shipment. So you have been able to observe where the armored car is going. It's going to both the places you need. It looks like there is a door. They're all labeled, and you can see that there's guards with different insignia. There's a pair of royal guards right in front of the last messaging station. There's a second one right next to it, which isn't guarded, but they're right next to each other, so the guard's right next to those doors anyways. Mm-hmm. The third one is towards the payroll room. What's the plan? From where you are, you're kind of in the middle of a couple of bookshelves. The guards are nearby, but they're the only guards in the warehouse, and they're both standing by that door. You know that there's 1 or 2 guards who are outside who are patrolling the area. You can see that the warehouse people are kind of nearby, just kind of chatting and watching this. It's the last thing going on.
How out of place are my clothes? I'm kind of wearing adventurer clothes, aren't I?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be seen anyways, but if you were, you'd kind of stick out.
Yeah. Okay. Can I distract the guards?
How?
Is there another room that I can get into? Or is this, what's the layout?
The only room left is an office. You might be able to duck through at the right moment. You're just waiting for everyone to look away at the right time.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is like setting up like a bookshelf to fall over. You know, after like a minute or like 30 seconds. Like I leave the room, bookshelf falls over. Sort of situation.
All right, you wait for the right moment. You get to the next bookshelf. You turn a corner in the far side of the warehouse, and you can see that the office door is kind of just slightly left ajar. You can see that the manager is quickly running off and going outside a back door. Door closes, and you can hear the jingling of keys. The manager's locking it behind him. But let the office open. Must have been a slip of the mind or something else.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a desk. There's a couple of filing cabinets.
Couple of filing cabinets. That's my plan. Like, trigger something to fall over after like 30 seconds. Put it on some like unstable footing.
Yeah.
And
leave the room. A water bottle precariously perched on the edge of a table.
Yeah. So that there's like a soft bang that comes from the office. And then the guards will be like, oh, what was that?
All right, so you creep forward, you push the door open a little ways. It creaks, but very faintly below what would be suspicious. You creep your way in, and you can see that there's a file cabinet standing before you. It's tall, not that thin, not that wide, but still very tall and lanky.
Can I have it? It's going to put them on alert if it just falls over. Because it's not going to just fall over, right? Can I pull out one of the filing cabinets, see if I can, like, take it out? Can I, like, lift it a little bit and try to see if I can, like, jangle it out of the filing cabinet?
All right, so you go and you have the filing cabinet halfway open. This is actually, you picked the wrong one. It's, like, stiff. You have to jiggle it, and then it's kind of stuck halfway. And right as it's stuck halfway, you can hear the jingling of keys as the manager's coming back in through the back door.
Okay. Shit. I leave the filing cabinet open. Like, purposefully... Actually, I'm going to open all of them. If I can, just quickly, like, be quiet about it. Open all of them. Walk out. And, like, quickly get out of there.
All right, so you're like, you jimmy one, it's too stiff. You jimmy the next one, it's too stiff. You're like, shit, that's all of them. You loosen a bottom drawer in a cabinet.
Like, open them a little bit, like so that they're open. Like I don't want to like take them out.
Mm. So you're like, you shuffle a few of the files. You like jimmy the bottom drawer. You're like, and you, in a panic, you knock over the inkwell and like a couple of quills, and then you go back to your hiding place as quick as you can. The manager walks over and sees the door halfway open and squints. Walks over, sees the drawers and the stains, and kind of like starts waving the guards over as, hey, I think someone was in my office. The guards are distracted.
Okay, are they distracted enough for me to get into that royal room? Or just enough for payroll?
You don't have time to think about it.
Payroll then.
You have to pick one then. Okay, so
I go easy.
You quickly run. You're like, fuck, and you're inside the room with the payroll. You can see that there's a door that's been closed improperly. It's actually been closed and locked, but the lock closed on the outside of the latch, so it's literally, you just have to pull it, but physically it's locked. Someone fucked up bad. The ledger, however, is open as well, and you can see that there's a lot of things written down.
I scan it real quick. Is there anything of importance to me?
Just pay schedule. Seems like everyone's paid kind of shit.
Huh.
Great. Everyone's paid kind of shit. The security's kind of shit. I'm making notes.
It sounds accurate. It checks out.
Okay, I'm looking for like mail out, like a box that says We're mailing this out.
So you're kind of like going, okay, mail out, mail out. You're realizing that you saw a folder that said that in like the office, and then you went, wait, that, and you're thinking you saw another one. You went, wait, mail out can be 6 different. Oh, I don't even. And the guards are starting to come back. You have a chance to book it now and go, good enough, let's go, we've learned something. Or you can try and take a big risk and go into the, what was I going to say? The Gilded Room.
I love how much we try for things that are optional.
I know.
So
I know, like, this is totally optional. I get nothing out of it. And I'm like, should I risk my life?
I could be captured by the Empire, but Ink Bomb.
But
Got her.
it's pretty fucking funny.
Pretty heckin' good prank, right, bros?
Whoa! I wanted
I
to
know,
make it
I was
mean
just thinking that, like...
So Crowquill and Son, you hear like the muffled clanging of people starting to play instruments and the lines slowly starting to move in the middle of a discussion about whether Wrath Reaver or Bleak Breaker is the better of the two albums in the Stonebreaker series.
Oh god.
As this happens, people are starting to get distracted, and you can see some of the guards moving towards the head of the line. The guard, like the entire gatehouse, is left open.
Huh.
By the way, should we go check up on Jane?
No, I mean, she probably knows what she's doing better than we do.
Yeah, but like, she's been gone a long time.
What? Well, don't you have that arrow?
I mean, yeah, but it's not like I can scry on the arrow.
But
I can only sense where it is.
Well, is it heading towards like prison or heading towards us?
I sense the arrow. Will, do I sense the arrow?
You're trying to focus on your magic, and you hear people going, I sense the arrow! I sense the arrow! And there's a couple of people like singing in line. You're trying to focus, it takes you a second, and it's still in the rookery, you think? Jane, where is that arrow?
Oh, like, so what I'm currently thinking is I should get the hell out of here.
Right.
But I don't want to give up on this letter thing. Like, I'm hoping if I can quickly place it somewhere. If I can quickly place it somewhere that somebody might think maybe this was misplaced.
Mm-hmm.
And then get the hell out of there instead of like specifically trying, because worst case scenario, some intern opens the letter, right? Who cares?
And then it's a flop, and it's still just an optional thing, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. So I'm like, where's the like most likely? Oh, this was misplaced. I'll throw it back in the pile of letters position that I like. That's not putting me at any risk.
All right, so you are running for the Gilded Room, though.
Am I running for the? How risky is it? Like, I don't know.
Jane doesn't have time to assess it. You hear people coming back, like the guards are coming back right now. But they're around the corner.
Okay, my only question. Was there a window in the office? Is there a window in this room?
No.
No, I don't go for the Gilded Room. I have no way out of the room.
Okay, you go, shit. You hold on to the letter. There's no place for you to put it in a pile of letters. And you could just go like, oh, fuck, and you bail out of there.
Okay.
Crowquill, you sense the arrow slowly making your way towards you, and you can see Jane quickly round and kind of go both ways and go past the guard post and reunite.
Hey, how'd it go?
I give you the information that I have.
Pretty good, considering, we sort of found out what we were doing today.
Yeah,
I think,
not a lot of planning time.
Do I still have this letter, or did I throw it down
Yeah, you still have it.
I still have it? I say we just throw it into some like random messaging place. The two. See if somebody's distracted enough to care. Like if they just throw it in the send it off box.
At this point, people have started to make their way back from the bars. It's the last of the drunken stumblers. There's even a couple of people taking their dogs for like a midnight pee kind of thing. It's really late in Eastlanding. They're getting a bit more conspicuous these days.
I say we head back and try again tomorrow, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
We can get Tiana to help out. You know, see what's what. We can actually have some like. We did great recon here. You did great recon here.
Well, that gives me a chance to, divine letter bomb 2.0. Throw paint further, and I don't know, maybe even take a finger off. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So, where do you guys go? Do you go to your ship, or do you go to the rookery?
Ship, I think.
Probably ship. Go to the rookery in the morning.
I'm making sure that we're not being followed on the way back, because I'm suspicious of those guards.
You guys scamper off into the night, and I'm going to call that a session.
All right.
So if you guys want to see this, the next time it happens live at twitch.tv/Mr. Croden, or Croden_live, I should say. We're at youtube.com/Mr. Croden. And there are things that also happen on the channel, such as what's going on.
Something's happening on Saturday with you, Will.
No idea yet. We'll figure it out.
Yep. And Monday, something is also happening on Monday. I haven't decided what Monday it's either. We finished
Monday.
We finished It Takes Two yesterday, and then we're kind of waffling about whether we want to do another Sea of Thieves stream next Monday, and then I'm just kind of like...
Wait, I don't have access to that anymore.
And then I'm just kind of like, maybe I just kind of do a solo stream again, or go back to the Old Republic. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. But
so in other words, suspense.
Suspense. We're doing something on Saturday and something on Monday, and Bloodwine, of course, on Tuesdays. Alright, so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Peace out.